Yo, what's up? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, so national team against Panama. It was a game that was a bit tricky. Myself,
Yeah.
I wasn't really so sure about the scoreline. Though some people were thinking that yes, the Black Stars will override the Panamanians, but for me, I think that it was going to be a difficult game, and we'll be looking into that. And also the magic with the number three. I don't know
hmm
if you've really averted your mind to it, because Asamoah wore the number three jersey, and as we speak, he's the Ghana all-time goal scorer. For I mean, talking about the senior national team, Asamoah is the one who is leading the goal scoring with the same number three that he. At some point in time, I was like, "Hey, why the striker also share number three jersey?" But hey, a striker share number three jersey, I mean, exploitly good things or wonderful things for the country. Jonathan Means also wore it, so at some point in time when Asamoah had to relinquish that one, and even that when
hmm
Asamoah was even injured at some point in time, Jonathan Mensah wore it, and he also scored some couple of goals in there. And
Yeah.
yesterday, Caleb Yirenkyi wore it. The first time he wore it was against, I think, was it Wales? I must say, the Wales, the last friendly match that we played, and he scored a goal. And yesterday, he also scored a goal in there. Every day, Charlie, number three, no, Bibu Mana. I don't know if you're a superstitious person.
Is it the make sure
Mm.
the number 10 na yɛ ko ho no ɛno the sisi a shift akɔ number 3.
Yes, yes, it looks as
Yeah,
if. It
so
looks as if.
exactly. So I told you that the number 10 is we are not so angry about who is going to wear the number 10. Even though we will talk
Mm,
about your friend then Thomas Asante because he did
mm.
very well when he came on. But yeah, it looks like John the Magic, wager on number 3 just in the moon. Into this year,
Yeah.
so yeah, I was surprised at Yirenkyi, especially in the first half, me but second half,
Mm,
he came into his own and then he gave us the crucial goal that gave us the win. So number 3 no
mm,
Obejuma, Obejuma, Obejuma.
mm. And I'm learning that some teams are really European teams are really monitoring him. Teams are really scouting him. But then we are keeping our fingers crossed. Maybe I'm thinking that after the World Cup, such a young talent will get a very good deal. He's only 20 years of age, and he plays for Northern. You know, Michael Essien is managing him at
Yeah,
Northern. Are you seeing some top clubs after the World Cup following him or
yeah,
signing
I
him up?
think so. I was monitoring some UK journalists that I follow on X,
Mm,
and almost all of them mentioned him as a top prospect that he will be coming into the Premier League um, v-
mm,
coming this season. So I see that a lot of teams are watching him. Of course, teams are watching all the players in this particular World Cup. And
mm,
so with him being a very young player, 20 years, he's our youngest player in the squad. And then for him to also come into his own and then provide this spectacular performance, I'm not
mm.
shocked or surprised that teams are beginning to talk about him now. What it means is that the pressure is going to start building up on him. So
Of course, of
hopefully
course.
those managing him and then handling him will try and then ground him so that he just focus on what he is doing and then keep the performance coming. But yeah, I will not
Mm,
be surprised if he ends up in the Premier League because especially with this newly promoted sides, they want
mm.
some interesting prospects to try and then
Exactly,
compete and then
exactly.
challenge. Yeah.
Mm. I think that will be a step in his career, a further up in his career. And I believe that as young as he is, he has a lot of, if I should say, future ahead of him if he decides to continue on this trajectory. So for me, I'm looking forward to him signing for a good club. But Derek, let's move straight into the game proper. Yesterday, the Black
hmm
Stars won the game 1-0. I don't know. Were you that impressed with the performance? I'm not talking about the result. Yes, the result, we're all excited. We're all happy about the fact that the Black Stars bagged in the three maximum. But looking at the performance, the first minute to the 90 minute, where were your highs and lows into the game?
So yesterday's game was a game of two halves.
Okay.
It was a game of two halves. The first half was completely different from the second half. And
Mm.
first of all, I think the coach did a really great job. So
Okay.
in trying to manage the game in terms of reading what happened in the first half and then making changes in the second half to get a performance and then the results that we were expecting.
Mm.
So to talk about the first half first, I don't think that it was impressive, truth be told.
Okay.
The team lacked cohesion in the first half. It didn't
Mm.
seem like there was a lot of chemistry between a lot of the players that were playing. It was as if they were playing for the very first time, which
Mm.
is not surprising because, mind you, um, this is the coach's, if I would say, second game in charge ever
Okay.
since he
Okay.
was appointed. So he
Exactly.
hasn't really had the time. The first game was against Wales. That was the first time. We have to discount that Mexico game because he wasn't there. Most of the players who
Yes, he
played
was in charge.
are not
Yes, it
here.
was unfair. This one unfair who was
Exactly.
in charge.
Uh, yeah, and most of the players who played were not are not
Sure.
in the World Cup, right? So what it means is that this is his second competitive game in charge. And so it was not surprising that the players looked like they were now adjusting to each other.
Mm.
They were now finding the chemistry with each other and trying to adapt to the coach's tactics, which
Mm.
was a bit surprising because even though these are players who probably are playing together for the first time, I don't think Carlos Queiroz' tactics is too difficult to follow
Flexible.
because not flexible, but difficult to
Okay.
follow because we all know
Okay.
he's a defensive minded coach, right?
Okay.
And for any defensive minded coach, it's all about the basics. Make sure you are
Mm.
tracking back, make sure
Okay.
you are marking your man, make sure you are staying in position and then all that. But it seems that even this basic thing was very difficult for the players in the first half. And
Mm.
so even for Caleb who scored a goal, the first half he didn't play very well. He had a lot of misplaced passes.
Yeah. Passes. Yeah.
Um, yeah, some of his clearance was a bit rash, and that's how he got a yellow card in the
Of
first
course.
half.
Of
Yeah,
course.
so the first half was a bit uh, below par or below standard.
Mm.
But the good thing about it is that the players or the team stayed in the game, and so the few chances that the Panama guys got, either Atizigi came to the rescue or our
Mm.
players were able to clear it. So that helped us to stay in the game in the first half. Now, the second
Mm.
half is when I was very much impressed with the coach because
Okay.
all the changes that he made showed that he had seen what was happening in the first half and he had read the game. Yeah, and he had been able to also study how the Panama guys were playing, right? And so
Exactly.
the second half, all the changes that came and the tactical tweaks that came in was to our advantage and it lifted the team up. And so
Mm.
that is the point that impressed me very much. So all in
Mm.
all, the performance for a first game was not something that we would say is one of the best Black Stars game we've watched because we've
Yeah.
seen Black Stars for a long time and they've been better
Mm.
matches where we've enjoyed
Sure.
it from
Sure.
minute 1 to minute 90. But this
Mm.
time around, we had to suffer, and in the coach's own
Yes.
way, we had to sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
to suffer a lot. So, and it was a very difficult watch in the first half. But in the second
Exactly.
half, all the changes that came in, all the boys
Mm.
that came in the second half,
Okay.
they came in
Okay.
with very positive mindset, and then they helped us get the results.
I think that rightly so because Carlos Queiroz himself admitted that it wasn't a perfect match for the Black Stars. He said that in his press conference, and admittedly so. He was saying that yes, going forward, he's learned some few mistakes that he needs to correct, and he think that the players
Hmm.
will grow into the tournament. And it's early days yet. Mind you, this is our first game, and
Yeah.
the 3 points was always going to be something that we need to fight it out for because we've always known the Black Stars to be a team that is a slow starter going into a tournament. So,
Yes.
um, uh, getting the three maximum point was something that will propel us. Mind you, we've been at the World Cup for times in there. The only time we were able to win our first game was in 2010, and that was when we did impressively well going into the quarterfinals in South Africa. But does this tell you that probably we are yet to have that South African feel going into maybe our next game? We know it's going to be a difficult game against England, and then we'll be playing Croatia. Do you have that feel that probably seeing this, this young side, this Black Stars going far, maybe away from the round of 32 and moving straight into the round of 16? Are you seeing them going that far, looking at the performance yesterday? Does that give you that
Yeah,
glimpse of it?
yeah. Before the game yesterday, I was not so sure, but
Okay.
after yesterday's game, I think I'm hopeful, and I won't be
Mm,
surprised if we are able to go out of the group. First of all, the
mm,
first game, the job is done. We have
yeah.
our 3 points in the bag, and nothing beat that, right? I
Mm,
think based on how the dynamics of the tournament is being a 48 team tournament, if you get a draw, it still puts us in a better position to be able to
mm,
qualify to the next
yeah.
stage. And looking at these players and looking at the attitude that I saw in terms of how they were playing, I thought that I saw a bit of hunger in more of the players, right?
Okay.
As compared to let's say the last World Cup or even during the Brazil World Cup, right?
Mm,
So looking at that attitude, I can see a few things. First, I see that there's the hunger in the players.
okay.
Second, I see that most of the players are playing for the coach. I see that
Okay.
the coach has that respect from the players and they are listening
Okay.
to him. And that is a very good sign because the coach is very experienced and he
Mm,
knows what he's doing based on the changes and everything that we saw from yesterday's
mm,
game. He knows what he's doing. So if you have players who are listening to him and willing to play for him, then
mm,
that is something that can carry us. We don't need to play
yep.
excellently. Football has
Mm.
changed.
We
Even
we
Brazil
just need to get the
themselves
job done.
get a job done. Even Brazil
Yeah.
themselves are not playing well. Right now they drew
Exactly.
their
Yeah.
first match.
Yeah.
So they want to get the 3 points on the board and they want it
Mm,
anyway. If Brazil
mm.
had played the way we played and then won against Morocco, they'll be happy.
They don't want to be
All
happy.
right.
Yes, exactly.
Same for Portugal. Same for Spain, right? But
Yeah. And
here
even
we are,
Netherlands.
Ghana, we
Netherlands drawing
and
with Japan
Netherlands.
as well. Yes.
Exactly.
It's
And
all
here
about
we
the
are,
3 points.
we have our 3 points. So I think the next game is going to be very difficult. But if the
Mm,
players are going to listen to the coach and then play according to instructions, put in
okay.
a bit of drive, then we should be
Mm.
able to qualify. And then we see what can
Derek,
happen next.
yeah, yes. Then again, there is one player who failed to, make it into that game, and that was Thomas Partey. Um,
Yeah.
did you miss him as a team when you were watching the game, right from the midfield? Somebody to detect play. Elisha Owusu, did that job together with Caleb Yirenkyi. Were you in your own thinking was like, Charlie, we needed Partey in this game? Were you missing him?
Yeah. In the first half, we
Okay,
missed him. In the
okay.
first half, we missed him because we're under so much pressure from the
Hmm.
Panama guys. It looks like their tactics was that they wanted to come at us right from the offset
Yes,
and then try and
get a
then get
first
a
goal.
goal. So they were,
Sure.
yes, so they were very much in our faces. And whenever we got the ball from the back, we were not able to get the final ball to the wide
Mm,
players
mm.
like Semenyo or
Jordan.
Sulemana or even Jordan, right? We're not
Mm,
able to get the ball through him. Caleb and then Elisha struggled in the first half. And right from that display, you could see that if Partey was there, we would have been able to
mm.
calm some of the nerves in the first half a bit
Exactly.
and then
Exactly.
get some of the passes going. But in the second half, we grew into the game and
Mm.
his absence
It
was
was
not.
better. It was better.
It was better. And once we got the win, it was like okay, all the talk about Partey can rest now. We have our win.
All right, so we have our win. But yesterday, I don't know whether you were able to go through social media platforms and all that. Even on X and even Facebook, people were giving it to Jordan Ayew Woto, the captain for the side. I don't want to single him out, but
Yeah.
what was your general feeling going into that game? Where after the game we were thinking that, yeah, Jordan Ayew with this vast experience. Because yesterday, what I realized was that the coach
Hmm.
wanted to go in with experience. Yes, the reason
Yes.
why, yes, I mean, I think that we saw some of our experienced players in there playing that game. Did Jordan live up to expectation in yesterday's game? And even with that substitution, but people were saying that he should have been taken off way long time ago. But Carlos Queiroz waited till around the 78th or 80th minutes where he decided to, I mean, bring that changes. Did he impress you?
First thing first, Jordan is still our captain, whether we like it or not. He is our captain. So he's going to play all the games. In fact, he's going to start all the games. Me, I support him. Me, I
so, so,
support
so,
him.
so, so, so captains shouldn't sit on a bench. Is that what you're saying?
He has a role to play. And yesterday he played it
Okay.
for, I would say, 75 minutes. The role
Mm.
he was supposed to play, he played it for
Was
75
done. He
minutes.
was done in the 75 minutes.
Yes, after
Mm.
75 minutes, you could see that we're now on the front foot. And that is
Mm.
where his weaknesses started showing, right?
Mm.
But in the first half, when we were under pressure, he was one of the players who was helping us soak the pressure and then try and then win these fouls upfield
Mm.
so that we try and then get forward. If not for him, the guys would have been on us constant pressure, and who knows, we would have conceded. So I think he
Mm.
did what he was supposed to do in the first half,
Okay.
and then a bit of it in the first part of the second half, right?
Mm.
But yes, I believe in Carlos as well because he saw it that his job was done, and then he took him off. Yes,
Mm.
I'll agree a bit with people who say he should have come off a bit earlier, but I will not agree with anyone who wants to discount the role of Jordan Ayew in yesterday's game because he was
Mm.
pivotal in it. And I think in England, we will even appreciate this role very much because in
Okay.
England, we are going to even have less of the ball. And so we need someone up front annoying them, right? Getting
Mm.
those free kicks and then
And drawing the
making like
fouls. Okay.
drawing the fouls, making the game a stop-start game because that's what we want to do. We don't want to
Mm.
play a speed game with them, to and fro game with them because they have the players. If Saka starts, we are dead on that flank, right?
All right.
They have exactly. So I think Jordan has a role to play. He's our captain and he's playing that role well.
Mm.
Just that I would say that when the tide of the game changes in our favor, he doesn't give us a lot of things because he always has his back to the goal instead
Mm.
of turning around and then pushing that forward. But in terms
Okay.
of holding up play and everything, he did very well in it. So far,
Mm.
there's an
Okay.
interesting stats that has come that he's
Okay.
the player that has won the most aerial duels. That's what we
Okay.
needed in yesterday's game. So he's doing the job. So he will play. He will start. Whether you like it or yes, he will start.
Already you've made a verdict on him that he's going to start. It looks as if
Yeah.
I have little to say on him, but yesterday for me, I was thinking that he was just slowing our attack. He wasn't that player who would love to be moving into spaces, as he rightly said, always getting his back against the opponent. So at
Yeah.
some point in time, I felt that he wasn't pressing enough because we needed somebody
Hmm.
who would also be pressing. But Kwabena came and he was doing fantastically well, pressing them and all that. And lo and behold, when Jordan was taken off, that was when I realized that the attack was very much fluid, was very much sharper, and we got the goal in there through Brendan Thomas Asante, giving that assist to that
Yeah.
is Khaled Reeves going forward. So I think that all in all, there are some positives in there. We are only praying that the goalkeeper will be fit, maybe for the next game. But Benjamin Asare yesterday, he came unfazed, and I was also very much impressed. A quick one on Benjamin Asare, then we move on.
Yeah, I think he did well when he came on. I
Okay.
didn't think he was expected to come on, but
Mm,
Atizigi got the injury and then he was
mm,
thrown into the match. But he was able to live up to expectation. I've already said
yeah.
that between the two, there's no difference in terms of my view.
Mm,
There's no difference
okay.
between the two. It's just how we want to play from the back that will determine who we should go with, right?
Okay.
So I think for him, he did well when he came on, and if Atizigi cannot play the next match, I don't have any fears if Benjamin Asari starts. So kudos to him. Clean sheet for both of them. they
Okay.
can share the
All
clean sheets.
Exactly. So I mean, both of them had to keep the half. So Atigzi did the first half, and he also did the second half. So I think that's very much impressive going forward into the England game. We'll do a proper one on the England game, but I can say that Cutleries, they are proudly also supporting us. Cutlery indicates something sumptuous cooking. Cutlery is an eatery that serves delicious with unbeatable price like shawarma, pizza, French fries, seafood, assorted fried rice, jambalaya, jollof, grilled quarter chicken, garlic butter prawns, and also calamari, spaghetti, and pan grilled grouper fish. We also have grilled pork and chips, spring rolls, and all sort of breakfast in there. So just come around for your hangout, birthdays, live football games, and all that. Pickup is also done, and dining as well, and also delivery services are very much available. Locate Cutleries at Anaje St. Francis, that's the St. Francis Street off the Choice Mart Road. So Edu Choice Mart Road, Anaje Choice Mart Road, it's on that stretch. That is where you can find Cutleries. Contact Cutleries on 054 34 35 804 or 055 20 18441. So when you say cutlery, you say good food deserves cutlery. So that is that for you. But then, Derek, let us look at some of the African countries and their exploits. Today, South Africa played against the Czechs. And at some point in time, I was thinking that they were about losing, but later they got a penalty in there
Yeah,
and they converted it beautifully there. So it was a 1-1 game, a drawn game in there between South Africa and Czech Republic. But so far, so good for the African teams. I mean, two out of the 10 teams that we paraded or we took to the World Cup have won, i.e., the Ivory Coast and also the Black Stars yesterday, they won.
yeah,
Morocco, as I said, they did splendidly well against Brazil. And also, I think Senegal did well in the first half against France. I think they stood up to them, the test and all that. But then they bottled things up in the second half. So far, Tunisia didn't really fare well. I'm yet to see their second game because Javi Renard is now the coach for Tunisia. So probably maybe
yeah.
in the second game, we are yet to see some good stuff from the African teams. A quick one on the African teams. Are you still seeing some positive in there? Do you expect about 5, 6 teams to go out of the run of 48? Personally, I see about maybe 4 or 5 teams qualifying from the group.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think I see some positive signs from the African teams. I already said that
Okay,
in previous World Cup when we were just five, after the first round, all five would have lost their opening games. But this
exactly.
time we only had three losses. That is South Africa losing to the host Mexico. We also
Mm,
had um, Tunisia losing to Sweden, and then
yeah.
later Senegal losing to France. So, and then the two wins are from Ghana against Panama, and then
Mm,
Ivory Coast against Ecuador. I think that this is a fantastic result. We don't have to beat ourselves too much because if
mhm.
you look at the first round of games, the African teams actually faced very heavy opposition, right? Senegal
Yeah,
faced
yeah,
France, they are favorite. Cape Verde
sure.
faced Spain, Spain are favorite,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Even GR
Morocco,
Congo, Portugal.
yeah, DR Congo
Mm,
against Portugal, they held their own. Morocco against
mm.
Brazil, these are tough matches. South
Exactly.
Africa versus the host nation, Mexico,
And
they are
Mexico.
tough matches. Exactly. And clearly they've improved on the loss by drawing against Czechs. So they have a good chance if they can beat Korea in their last match, right? So what it means is that I'm seeing that in the second round of games, we are going to see some improvement in the games,
Okay.
especially for those who drew their opening matches. I'm thinking that we are going to see a couple more wins from the African teams, and that will
Mm,
put them in a good position. And as you said, we are expecting that at least four
mm,
should be able to qualify out of their group and then give us a better chance of progressing far into the tournament. So far,
mm.
so good for the African teams. I'm
So
impressed
so
with
so
them.
so 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 let me I mean push you to the wall. The 4 teams, which are the teams that you're looking out for?
So Ghana is going to qualify. I know
Mm.
Cote d'Ivoire is also going to qualify.
Okay.
Um, and then the two
Morocco,
teams that Morocco are going to qualify as well. And
making
then
3.
Yeah, making three. Then the other one could be a surprise. It
Okay.
could be anyone from the remaining seven teams. Any one of them can qualify from their groups. Egypt has a good chance because they've already played the 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 strongest opposition in their group already.
Okay.
So I'm looking at Egypt, Cape Verde. They have to now score. They have to actually
Mhm.
score and win.
Yeah.
It might be a tall order, but they still have a chance in there. So yeah, at least three of them I'm certain. The other one, I'll leave it to chance.
It's quite surprising to me that I didn't hear Senegal in there. I understand because maybe I mean they lost against France, but as you already said, France is also I mean a top team in their group. I mean if I should say
Exactly.
the favorite in their group. So losing to France, I mean was expected according to the bookmakers, but then on
Yes.
paper. I was expected that that Senegal will win, but then I'm only hoping that they can pick up the pieces in the next two games, so that probably they can join the other four, even making it five
Yeah,
out
make
of
yeah, that would be
yes,
great. That would be
exactly,
great. The only thing about
exactly.
Senegal is that you rightly said, first half they held their own, second
Yeah,
half then they
mm,
capitulated. And the reason why
uh-huh.
they did that is that the first half when they were playing well, they had their chances and they didn't take it. And
Exactly,
that has been the
exactly.
bane of most of the African teams. So if they
Mm,
can change that, then they give
mm,
themselves a good opportunity to progress. So let's hope
mm.
that can be done.
Okay. All right. So finally, before we wrap things up, let us look at, I mean, that is Team Portugal. And
Mm,
already people are talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. We saw what Messi did. I don't want to bring in Mbappe because Mbappe is the youngest of them. I don't want to even bring, I mean, Haaland because they are
yeah.
also the youngest of these two, I mean,
And then
players. But then
Harry Kane.
Hurricane as well. These two players are in a class of their own, and they are about having a dying, I mean, career. Yes, they are about retiring. And we saw what Messi did. I mean, scoring hat trick, brilliant, brilliant one against that is the African team, Tunisia in there. So after that, the next day we were expecting that is Cristiano Ronaldo to also to hit the target, but people were calling for pressure on Cristiano Ronaldo, and he failed to do that. He failed to deliver. But then the likes of Thierry Henry has been speaking. And this is what Thierry Henry said. He said that one thing that's important is the team needs to score, not you. You need to score. It's not about you. He was trying to label Cristiano Ronaldo as a selfish player going forward. Patrick Vieira also had the same thing to talk about, that Cristiano Ronaldo isn't looking more like a team player. He is very much individualistic in the Portugal team. I don't know where this skating attack is coming from, but his coach, Roberto Martinez, he's been,
Hmm.
I mean, defending the player. According to him, quoting him, he said, if Ronaldo scores, you say it because he's the most important player in the team. And if he doesn't, you say it's because he's getting older. That's not a fair assessment. It made no sense at all to take off Cristiano, who is the best goal scorer in history, off the field when he were looking for goals. So he is saying that if you're looking for goals, there's no need to take Cristiano Ronaldo off. He knows his exploit. He's the best in history. Why do you have to take Cristiano Ronaldo off?
Philip, Ghana, Ghana. As our team right now, yes, we've won. If we get Ronaldo in his current state, yepe ana yempe, Ghana, Ghana,
Yepe.
Ghana. Yepe,
Yepe.
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 I
Yepe.
disagree with I disagree with
I like the way you started the whole thing. I like it.
yes,
Go on.
yes, because I'm going on a tangent. And I disagree with Henry. I disagree with everyone who is trying to label him as selfish or label him as drawing the Portuguese team back or not helping them or no. Listen, I watched Henry in his analysis when Argentina was about to play. He was all over glazing, singing the praises of Messi. You get to Ronaldo, and then the song changes, and
Mm.
clearly you can see that there's something in there, right? I don't want to say
Do you sense some bias in there? Just be
ye-
honest. Do you
yes,
sense some bias in there?
yeah. There's a bias because clearly between
Mm.
you and I, we know that across the whole world, between Messi and Ronaldo, it is split. There are people who
Okay.
favor, who like Messi
Yes, of course.
or who see Messi as the GOAT, and there are people who see Ronaldo as the GOAT. And I think that bias has a way of coming into analysis of even experienced
Mm,
pundits or experienced
mm.
players who should be so-called neutral. So I think that
Okay.
bias is playing into some of the comments that are coming in. Whether we like it or not, Ronaldo is one of the best scorers in the history of football. So no team,
There is
the
no doubt about that. There is no doubt about that. 41 years of age.
listen,
Massive is starting all the games for Portugal.
yes,
Massive.
he has to start. You see, when I was looking at this analysis, I watched how he said it, Henry, the quote and everything, because he was working
Okay.
on the game on Fox Sports, right? And it was
Yeah.
only one incident that made him say that. And this is a game of
Mm,
90 minutes. So
mm.
if, for example, I've seen several replays of Ronaldo being selfish, Ronaldo trying to score, Ronaldo not passing, Ronaldo not positioning himself well throughout the game, then I'll begin to agree with him. But it was just one chance. And
Okay.
if against DR Congo, we all know that DR Congo were going to die on the field defending. So they were
Sure.
not going to give Portugal a lot of chances like that, right? So that's why people are now counting, they are cherry picking, right? Because Portugal had
Mm,
few chances. So the few chances that they had in Ronaldo squandered it, they want to come at him. And I think that
mm,
is not fair. When we talk about Messi, we all
mm.
say that the Argentine players are playing for him, or
Yeah.
they are playing to suit him. Same can be
Mm,
said of Mbappe, even Hurricane. Same can be said of him. Every team's
mm,
talisman, the team is trying to play for him. The only team that I'm not seeing playing for their talisman is Portugal, because almost
mm,
everybody wants to take their own glory. And the statement that Henry made, it should actually be in the opposite. That guys, whether you like it or not, as long as he is still donning the Portuguese jersey, first, he's your captain and he's your best player ever. So you guys
mm.
should rather play for him instead of trying to see him as a nuisance or
But
trying to see him.
who is supposed to instill that? Is that not the coach? If, for instance, Scaloni is managing Argentina and Argentina is playing for that is Lionel Messi, isn't that the handwork of Scaloni? If Ghana is playing for, let's say, Jordan Ayew, is that not the handwork of Carlos Queiroz? So who is responsible for the Portuguese players to play collectively, to play as a team? Is that not the job of Roberto Martinez? Is that not it?
It is his job, and I agree with you. It is his job
Yeah.
to do that. Um, and I think he has not been able to do that. If you look at the Argentine team, I'll give you some example. If
Okay.
you are selected, especially in the qualifying stages and then friendly matches, if you are drafted into the team and
Mm,
then the coach sees any sign of you trying to compete against Messi, you are not going to be called the next match. That's what I've seen.
mm.
Look at
Okay.
look at all the team. France, Deschamps decided that okay, Mbappe is my main man. So he started making sure that everybody will play to his strength, including Griezmann and then Giroud and then all these
Mm,
senior players. And when they felt that no, we can't be playing for Mbappe, this small boy and everything, they all retired. Do you get it?
mm.
And I think that's
Yeah.
what the Martinez can do for the Portuguese team. If Bruno doesn't want
Okay.
to play for Ronaldo, he has to be dropped, not Ronaldo. If I'm to drop someone in the Portuguese team, I'll bring a young player who is willing to play, give the passes to Ronaldo, rather than play Bruno, who is going to suck at every missed chance. So I am for Ronaldo.
Even at the age of 41, even at the age of 41, when you know that he's
It
about
doesn't
nearing
matter.
his career.
It doesn't matter because he still can do the job. He's shown that he can do the job. They only
Okay.
have to play to his strength, right? And someone has to be able to talk to the teammates and then tell them, use other teams as example that this is what other teams are doing and it's favoring them. We also have our
Mm,
own Ronaldo. Let's play to his strength. Mbappe was made a captain when Griezmann was there, when Giroud was there,
okay.
when all these senior players were there, because it was a message that this is our talisman. So we are all playing with him. We are all playing
Mm,
for him. Same has to be said
mm,
and same has to be done for the Portuguese team. So I don't agree with
Mm.
Messi, Thierry Henry, and Patrick Vieira, and all those who are slamming Ronaldo. I think in the
Mm.
next matches he's going to score. He's going to come good. So yeah,
You're very
it's
much
just the
confident about
I'm very
that.
confident. It's just the Messi Ronaldo kind of bias that is trying
It's creeping in.
to is creeping
Mm.
in the analysis. But yeah, they
Mm.
have to play to his strength.
Do we have some messages going forward? We are about wrapping up on this one. If no messages, then we just have to go on because I just don't know. Finally, do you see Portugal still in your favorite list? Quick one, just about 30 seconds. Do you still Portugal in there in your
I
favorite
I,
list?
I have to see their performance in the second match
Okay,
before, yeah,
okay.
because but I think they are going to qualify out
You're
of
not
the group.
convinced.
I'm not
You're not
convinced.
convinced about.
I'm not convinced yet.
Okay,
Yeah, because the team
okay.
is a bit disjointed because of all
So
that we've just discussed.
so far, which teams are you seeing in the favorite to go all the way to the semis or the final? So far, as things stands.
Yeah, as the stands, you have to bet on Argentina. You have to bet on Germany.
Okay.
They are the
Hmm.
ones that have been a standout.
Not
And
England.
then and
Didn't you see
then
England, Croatia?
well, we are going to stop them as Ghanaians. And then and then
I
all the
love
good
the
things
confidence. I love
and
the
all the
confidence.
yeah, we are going to stop them. At least we are going to get a draw. And all the good things
Tuesday,
that
Tuesday,
we
Wahayaro.
saw.
Tuesday,
Oh,
Wahayaro. Tuesday,
uh,
Wahayaro. Okay.
Yejinin, Yejinin, Yejinin. Oh, Tuesday, Yejinin.
No problem. All
Yeah,
right, Charlie.
yeah,
Derek, thank you very much for your time. And those of you also watching, we do appreciate your time. You can just log on to Sport Talk on that is YouTube, and you can have a full video to watch if you missed that.
yeah.
Thank you once again. On Tuesday, we'll be doing that is predict and win. Yes, Cutlery is taking care of that. So if you're able to predict the Black Stars game against England correctly, you stand a chance
Yeah.
of getting yourself a shawarma or a pizza or whatever. And
Shawarma.
then
Shawarma.
I will take you to Cutlery myself. So that is that for you on Tuesday, God willing. So just stick and stay and always stay blessed. Derek, I'm out.
All right. Bye.